In the next couple of minutes, I'm going to go over how you can actually recover from burnout, why you feel exhausted all the time, why taking breaks and resting, working hard to catch up, switching jobs or roles, pretending everything is fine, and overloading on self-care, along with self-isolation or even overscheduling to regain control, doesn't seem to be working. There is a reason for that. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you why that doesn't work. I'm going to give you the exact steps that you need to take to resolve and come out of burnout. I'm also going to tell you the biggest trap that you're unconscious of that keeps you in burnout, no matter how much you try or want to come out of it. I'm going to show you the exact steps you need to take so you have the energy to continue performing at the high level you want to, so that you can feel more at peace with keeping your current role intact in your work or business, along with feeling okay to socialize with others again, as well as having the energy to go to the gym so your health doesn't keep taking the hit over and over again. Now, if this is your first time here, let me introduce myself. I'm Aryan. I've worked with thousands of students from across the world, many of who have had the same issue we're talking about in this video. And by being able to understand why burnout happens, along with taking some simple steps, other normal people just like yourself were able to achieve this. Like Karina, who was able to find her peace again after her divorce, which allowed her to get back to herself and her family so that she could continue having a good balance between her work life and her home life. Now look, you're not alone. Burnout is something that pretty much everyone that I've worked with has suffered from. I've suffered from it myself, which is how I know what it is and exactly how to resolve it. What I'm saying to you is that you're in the right place. Every single person that has gone out of burnout has started exactly where you are right now. They didn't know what's going on either. They didn't know that it's much more than just resting. They didn't even know that resting is something you have to learn how to do. They also felt heavy and tired all the time. And we've all had the foggy memories and found it hard to remember simple things or even simple words as well. Now, there are 3 main steps to take in order to resolve burnout. I'm going to go through each of these steps in detail so you can fully understand what you need to do to get out of burnout. But before I do, you need to truly understand a couple of very, very important things first. Otherwise, none of this is going to work. The first is how you got here. Burnout happens because you're always switched on, constantly trying to figure out how to achieve something, constantly working towards a goal, whether it's needing to make enough money for the end of the month or hitting the target deadline that other people are expecting to hit. Or maybe that goal is to prove something to other people or even yourself. Your internal state is constantly figuring X out so you can achieve Z. I need to work harder to meet these deadlines. If I don't reply to this right now, I'll fall behind. I can't say no to this. It'll hurt my career. I have to be perfect for everyone so they see my value, so they see my worth. If I take on more, I'll prove I'm valuable. If I don't do it, no one will. I can't rest. There's too much to do. The solving problem thoughts, like if I do X, then I'll get Z, are especially sneaky. They sound logical. If I work late, I'll be on top of things. Or if I finish this chore, I'll relax. But they are traps. They push you to chase approval or success through endless effort. They fuel guilt-driven perfectionism. The Z, whether it's peace, recognition, or rest, rarely arrives because the X just keeps growing. This causes an overwhelm in your internal world. And here's the biggest trap I mentioned earlier in the video. The behavior of if I do X, then I get Z is what got you in this state in the first place. If you're approaching wanting to get out of burnout with the same behavior, it will not work. Let me explain to you what I mean by this. If your attempts to get out of burnout are to continue doing what it is that got you in burnout, it won't work. I need to get out of burnout so I can prove I'm valuable. I need to get out of burnout so I can hit those deadlines. I need to get out of burnout so I can do what no one else will do. And look, I can already hear your thoughts, but that's my reality. That's what my life is like. My job requires me to hit those deadlines. And look, that's normal. And that's very, very okay. This isn't me telling you that you shouldn't care about your job or your role. Let's, for a moment, look at this from a higher perspective. You can look down and see that in order for me to achieve my goal, which is normal, I need to come out of burnout, which is really holding me back. This is the observing view of what I'm trying to achieve. But the only way I can do that is dependent on how I approach the burnout. And the only way that I can come out of the burnout is if I'm truly doing it for me. It will only work if I'm doing it because I understand that I'm under so much stress right now that it's really not healthy for me. I have to start choosing me in this way. Not so I can continue working harder and harder. There needs to be an understanding and conscious choice that you need to put yourself and your health at a higher priority than you have been doing. Which leads us to the second thing. You have to understand that your body, your entire being, is continuously communicating with you. That happens in so many different ways. For example, if you run a marathon, then eventually you will get tired and cannot run anymore. Your human being at that stage literally cannot run anymore. Even if you try and try and try and try. But you will be able to run again at some point, and possibly even run faster because your ability has increased. And when you're at the stage where you can run again, it's because you rested. You gave your being or your body what it needed so it can run again, which is rest. If I were to compare your ability to run at 2 points in time, one being straight after the marathon and the other being after you rested, your ability to run again is improved and increased so much better after you rested. You slowed down so you can speed up. And this is the same thing. You are overwhelmed for whatever reason which has caused your burnout. And in order to achieve your goal, you need to slow down or rest in order to speed up. But the kind of rest you need is not just stopping. You actually have to learn how to rest. I know that sounds crazy, but that's the reality of it, which is what leads us to the 3 steps. Step 1 is your awareness to thoughts. There are 2 states you can be in when it comes to thoughts. You can either live in the imagination of the thought, which is what it means when people say you are the thought, or you can observe the thought. By observing it, you detach from it, and therefore you are not living in the imaginative state or being that thought. The reason that this is very important is because your thoughts activate the stress response in your body. So your thoughts actually put you under stress. You have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and 95% of all of your thoughts in a day are happening in your subconscious, which means you are unconscious of them. This means most of the thoughts that you're having that are activating the stress response, you are unconscious of. So in order to become conscious of them, so you can stop the unconscious stress, you have to become aware of them, which leads us to step 2. Step 2 is becoming aware of the underlying beliefs driving you. This is especially important because this is the core of what has driven you to burnout. Your beliefs are what creates your reality. They are the core of what drives us. By exploring what beliefs are pushing you so hard, we'll get to truly see why these behaviors exist and what thoughts these beliefs create. For example, my worth is tied to my productivity. The thought with that is if I work harder, I'll be more valuable. Or resting means I'm not contributing enough. This belief ties self-esteem to output, making rest feel like a threat to your value. Or success requires constant hustle. The thoughts that come with that are if I slow down, I'll fall behind. Or taking a break means I'm not dedicated enough. The grind is glorified, turning rest into something to fear rather than embrace. Or even, I have to handle everything on my own. Asking for help is a sign of weakness. If I delegate, things won't get done right. Hyper-independence feels empowering for sure, but it piles on the pressure and isolates you. Hyper-independence is actually a trauma response. By becoming aware of the underlying beliefs that are driving you, it will give you a completely different perspective and view of why certain behaviors exist, which is what gives you more power to change them. This is how you learn how to rest. When I say learn how to rest, it's about resting your internal world. You can physically stop, but that won't make you rest your internal world. One of the most valuable things that I heard on my journey was the way that you've been doing it up until now hasn't worked. And that's okay. We all start there, but there needs to be that awareness that I need to change the way that I'm doing it. That's where power is. Changing behavior is doing something different, which requires the awareness of why those behaviors are there in the first place, which is why we need to become aware of the beliefs that are driving them. And step 3 is nervous system regulation. Right now, your default familiar state is continuous stress. This is why you're suffering with burnout. You're in a continuous state of stress in your body, which is led by the unconscious beliefs you hold, which create the thoughts that come with them. This is causing your body to be in a continuous state of stress. So you have to actively start getting your body out of stress. And just stopping doesn't do that. That's why taking vacation and taking a break doesn't work, because your unconscious beliefs and the thoughts that come with them are still firing off. There are proper ways of regulating your nervous system, and meditation will help for sure. Specific meditations will help for sure. But in this state, for someone who's in burnout, that's more like only getting the relief in the moments where you are meditating. So again, you need to learn how to regulate your nervous system. The goal is to have a regulated nervous system even when you're in environments that isn't you meditating or doing breathwork. And the most powerful way to regulate your nervous system is done through integration. If you want to learn more about integration, which will help you so much more with all 3 steps, it will make you become aware of your thoughts, change your limiting beliefs, and regulate your nervous system in the most powerful way possible, then you can book a call with a member of my team who will go through this whole process with you so you can fully understand how it's done and how to start doing it yourself. I've put a link to a calendar in the description and the first comment of this video that you can use to schedule that call now. The truth is, burnout doesn't fade away by doing more. It resolves when you become aware of your behaviors, the thoughts, the beliefs, to see what they are, in what ways they're flawed ideas rooted in pressure, not reality, and start saying no. Start asking for help. Start taking more breaks, even though your to-do list isn't done, so that you can be with your thoughts. Recognizing these patterns are the first step to stepping back. The reason why what you've tried has flopped is because it focuses on quick relief rather than lasting change. Burnout isn't just fatigue. It's a signal of a deeper issue like poor boundaries and unmet needs, which cause chronic stress. Treating symptoms with vacations or caffeine or avoiding the problem by blaming others or ignoring it doesn't touch the root causes. Quick fixes like working harder or overscheduling actively make things worse by ramping up pressure. I want you to imagine this: waking up without that dread, grabbing your morning coffee with an authentic, real smile. You nailed that work call with total confidence, no second guessing yourself, and finishing early enough to cook dinner with your loved ones and actually enjoying it. Burnout's gone. You're in control, energized, and loving the life you're building. Now remember, I said to you that recognizing the patterns are the first step. So well done. You've taken the first step to resolving burnout right now. And this is going to allow you to gain that confidence and inner peace whilst you get back control over your time with renewed energy. And if that's something you want, click that link below and we look forward to talking to you.